What up, YouTube? Today we're going to be replacing one of the lower control arms on the old town car, so stay tuned. Alright, we're going to take this wheel off first. Alright, now that we got that off, we need to go ahead and remove this nut on the ball joint. We got to take the bolt that holds the strut into the control arm out. We got another bolt here that holds on the control arm to the subframe here. And then on the back there's this little bracket here, and it looks like it's got 3 bolts holding it to the frame of the vehicle. So we're going to have to take all of those off. Alright, we got that one out of there. And there is this little washer here on the bottom, so important to keep track of that. And I'm going to try to just take this thing off straight up. I went ahead and marked our cam bolt here just so the alignment stays somewhat close to how it should be. And then of course we're going to take it in after whenever I can. But I'm just going for all these bolts straight up. I think I'm going to go for these next, and then if we have to mess around with the knuckle or something more, then I'll do that. But the less shit we got to take off, the better. Went ahead and took the strut bolt out. That was a 24. It's a flag bolt, they call it. This bolt goes in from the back side, and then this little guy will not turn because it'll hit against that depending on which way it's going or whatever. And so then the nut, it goes on from this side. It's a 24 millimeter, and then the ball joint was a 21 millimeter. So now we're going to go back and hit these, which are 15 millimeter. I took the nut off for the bolt that goes to the front bushing here. It's also a 24 millimeter. And the next thing, I'm going to try to get it out. But the procedure calls for taking this nut and this nut off on the rack and pinion and sliding the rack and pinion forward in order to get the nut out. So we'll see what we got to do and go from there. All right, so we ended up having to take these bolts off here on the rack. Bolt's still not out all the way yet, and I'm gonna pry out on the rack, and then hopefully this is gonna come out for us. We couldn't get the rack off enough, so I'm in here taking this bolt off. We got the steering wheel zip tied so it can't turn. And then this should enable us to pull the rack back enough to get that damn front bolt out. This is a lot of work for just one bolt, let me tell you. Just watch the lines, if any. Not these ones, but like these and shit. Alright, so I think we did this wrong, honestly, but we got what we wanted at the end. As you can see, the bolt is out. We ended up taking the stud out, and that gives us the ability to lift up on this. We were good, but this, those 2 lines right here, right above my finger, those were hitting the bottom of the oil filter housing right where this connector is, and that Allen plug or whatever, they were hitting that. So we ended up getting the stud out. If we would have thought about taking the stud out, probably could have avoided taking off the steering shaft. We got this bolt out now. Now we should be able to jimmy the control arm out of there. Alright, we got it out though. Just simply pulled it away from the frame here, pried it out here on the front, and then we were able to slide it out of the strut hole, and then the ball joint stud just kind of slid out of the knuckle. So now we're going to be going on with the new one here in a second. This one here has a bad ball joint. I can feel it just going up and down like this. Maybe more. Oh yeah, I can definitely feel it there. So that needs to be replaced, and unfortunately, according to the procedure, which I should have brought with me, It says that the ball joint is not serviceable on the 03 and up Towncar. You have to replace the entire control arm. I don't know if it's because the aluminum is soft and you can screw it up pressing it in and out like that, but thankfully I was able to find a control arm for not too crazy expensive. They can definitely get up there in price, so I got a new one. That bad boy's right over here. Now that we're at the halfway point, it's cigarette break time. Then we're going to be putting this bad boy back on. Alright, we got our new control arm fitted here. We got all the bolts in place except for the strut. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten these 15s up. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and put this stud back in on the rack. Alright, now we end up tightening up all the bolts. We got the tie rod end back on, the strut bolt back in, the ball joint on, the rack is all put back in, and the stud, as well as this bolt, and these bolts back here. Now I got to go back up there and put my steering shaft back on. Got that steering shaft all put back on and tightened up as well. All finished up. That's gonna be the end of the video, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.